What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Times of Fantasy Sports Talk. I'm your host, Waiver Wire Queen. That's right, the one and only Waiver Wire Queen. Before I get started, why don't y'all do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and follow the Queen. Follow me as I get you guys right for the upcoming for 2021 fantasy football season and the current NBA season. But we're not even going to do that today. We're going to talk about the NFC East. Yes, the best division in football, right? If that was the case, then people wouldn't be calling them the NFC East. But anyway, I'm going to still call them the NFC East, okay? Because the best team in NY is in the NFC East, and that's the New York Giants. Shout out to all my Bills fans, and shout out to all my Jets fans. Yes. Y'all know who y'all are. Nah, congratulations to the Bills for making the playoffs. But anyways, let's move on from that. We're gonna talk about the NFC East, aka NFC East. We have four teams. We got the Giants, we have the Washington football team, we have the Dallas Cowboys, and we have Philadelphia Eagles. So I'm gonna go into a few things. I'm gonna talk about some good things, some bad things, some ugly things. We're just gonna talk about it because it's got to change. Okay. I'm sorry. You know, last night Philly and Washington played. Giants had the chance to get to the playoffs, and unfortunately they didn't make the playoffs, but you're under 500. If the Giants would have made the playoffs, they would have been under 500. Washington is under 500 and they're in the playoffs. So what? You're in the playoffs. That's fine. But you want to be above 500. Like this is the thing with the NFC East. It's either 500. I think last season Philly made it in the playoffs. The last game of the season. It's fun to have those kind of games. The last day of the season where oh, we got to win this game. We in the playoffs. But do you really want to have a team built that way where you're always fighting the last day of the season to make the playoffs every single year, and your record is always under 500? But when you look at it, you're not improving and building on it. None of these teams are really building on it. Okay, with the Cowboy fans delusional every season. Oh, we're going to Super Bowl. Oh, we're going to Super Bowl. Last week I had Cowboy fans telling me, oh, we're going to Super Bowl. Oh, we're going to Super Bowl. Well, y'all at home. Y'all at the house. Y'all ain't going to the Super Bowl. But the thing is with the Cowboys, to me, so much talent, but they haven't been able to put it together for years. And that's why I need them Cowboy fans to come on back down to earth. But I'm not going to get into all of that. All right, let's talk about the quarterbacks and what I think of the quarterbacks. Are any of these quarterbacks franchise quarterbacks that are starting for these teams? Do you have a starting quarterback that are starting for these teams? So let's run it right down, and I'm gonna tell you how I feel as we go. So we have the Washington football team. We're gonna go with them first since they won the division. Yes. So the Washington football team, their starting quarterback is I'm going to say is Alex Smith. They drafted Haskins last season, and he is no longer on the team. He is released. He's been released last week based on a few things. And I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh well, it should have gave him more of a chance. He was setting him up for failure." But even if you're set up for failure, or if you feel that way, which I don't know. There's still things as a starting quarterback you have to do, and you have to lead by example. And he did a few things that he wasn't leading. You didn't lead by example with a few things you did. And so in their eyes, it's better to just cut bait and cut ties and move on, because they didn't feel like he was a leader and they didn't feel like he was their guy. Maybe he'll get another chance. I don't know. So that leaves Alex Smith as their starting quarterback. Most people always say Alex Smith is a game manager. He's always played well enough to win games, but never well enough to take it to that next final level. It's great to see Alex Smith playing again. He's been through a lot. He's been through a lot. So it's a blessing and it's awesome to see him out there. But I do not see him as their long-term solution to quarterback. No, he is not the long-term solution to quarterback. And if they have a chance to get a younger at quarterback and a better quarterback, you do it. So no, I don't see him as their long-term solution. He's the short-term solution for this season, in my opinion. Short-term this season. Next season, I don't see him. I don't think he should be the solution for next season. But he got him into the playoffs this year, so they'll probably move forward with him. Do I think that should be the case? Hell no. If they can get Carson Wentz, why not? Maybe look at Jameson Winston. I don't know. Maybe draft a quarterback because they still have a solid pick and there are a few options out there. But I do not see their franchise quarterback on the team. So he's good enough for the short term this year. And then to me, you have to identify your quarterback. But at the same time, if you're going to identify another quarterback, you need to add more weapons. You have, I'm assuming they're moving forward with Gibson as their running back. I like the Gibson, McKisson. I like that. I like that duo. That's a nice duo. Fine. You got Logan Thomas. Now, is he their long-term solution? Well, he was a sleeper for me. So in fantasy, he was a sleeper. So that's a good thing. He's played well, and he's played well enough to be the starting tight end next season. But I still feel like they need to identify another tight end. And then you only have one wide receiver, and it's McLaurin. So you need more weapons. So you're going to bring in a quarterback, or you're going to keep Alex Smith, but you still are lacking weapons. They need to address it. So short-term, immediate, Alex Smith is their starting quarterback, and he should be because he presents them with the best opportunity to win, as he did last night. He did what he needed to do to win. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about the Giants. My Giants. So their starting quarterback is Daniel Jones. Of course, last year, we were all like, who? Why? What? I guess most people were thinking they were going to go defense, and they just reached for the stars. Snatched Daniel Jones up. I think it was the number 6 pick. And so he has shown flashes of starting quarterback material, but he has shown more flashes of he's not a starting quarterback, and he can be a backup, I believe, because he would have been a better backup than Philly's backup last night. Should have kept Hurts in there, y'all. But nonetheless, he's not a starting quarterback, in my opinion. He's not a franchise quarterback. I know we keep saying, well, they got to add more pieces to the defense. He doesn't have the wide receivers. He's never really had Saquon. But he hasn't improved. He hasn't improved on certain things. Like, I would say he has cut down on the fumbling of the ball. Fine. But he's still doing certain things like throwing passes that are just like unacceptable at certain times. And he's just not a starting quarterback. Will having Saquon back next season help? Hell yeah, that's going to help. However, he's not he's not a franchise quarterback, in my opinion. If he doesn't improve drastically by the start of next season, I said about the start, so he better be in this offseason working and improve. If not, then they need to move on. As a Giants fan, I would say they need to move on in this draft. But they won 7 games, so that kind of pushed them back. So do you take a quarterback, or do you just add some more pieces to help him? There are a lot of things that they can do to help Daniel Jones, but there are some things that Daniel Jones has to do to help, and that is cut down on those turnovers. He has way too many turnovers. It don't even make no damn sense. He probably got more turnovers than 2 or 3 quarterbacks combined. Anyways, time's up. I'm gonna move on before I get a little pissed about my Giants. They make the playoffs, but we improved, but we didn't deserve to make the playoffs. We were under 500 by a lot. All right. Dallas Cowboys, Mr. Dak Prescott. Yes, Dak Prescott is a starting quarterback, and he should be the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and they should pay that man. Okay, yes, he got hurt, season-ending injury, but guess what? He's going to come back next season. You have some weapons. You have the wide receivers, and you have, I like the 2 tight ends. Schultz has played pretty well, and Jarwin's going to come back from injury. I think he'll be fine. And then you have those 3 wide receivers. Can I just grab? I want to grab all 3 of them and bring them to New York. Damn. They got some really good wide receivers. We're going to talk about them a little bit later on. So Dak is the franchise quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, and Jerry better listen to the waiver wire queen. Yes, I'm a Giants fan, but I'm trying to steer you right. You re-sign Dak, you bring him on back, and you fix that damn defense and that offensive line, and you'll see some changes. Boom. And now, Philly. Is it Hurts? Is it Wentz? Was it the guy who came in, Sufeld or whatever? I don't even remember his name. I don't know who it is. But after pulling Hurts last night, it makes me question if they believe that he's their guy. Carson Wentz, I feel like that relationship is fractured. It's there's nothing you can do to fix that. So maybe find a team and get some assets in. I think they have the 6th pick in the draft. I think Hurts deserved the opportunity to have his offseason and prepare to be the starting quarterback next season, especially if you're moving on from Wentz. But you need to bring weapons in there. Is Hurts a franchise quarterback? I can't say that he is. Is he the starting quarterback? I need to see more. So out of these quarterbacks in the NFC East /lease, aka lease, there's only one quarterback that I am confident as a starting quarterback, and he's not on my damn team. Dak Prescott of the Cowboys. All right, so we're going to move on. So let's talk about some bright spots of each team. So Washington, I'll start with them because, they won the division. They are on top of the NFC East. So Washington, that defense is a problem. If they can add some DBs, it's a problem. That front line, that front line is I'm hating. God damn it, because I wanted to draft Chase Young, but we won one more game, so we didn't get to get him, but whatever. But you got Young, Montez, Allen, and Payne. That front is a problem. That's a huge bright spot. That's a problem for all of the quarterbacks in the NFC East, because who the hell wants to be chased by Chase Young? Shit, Tom Brady better be ready, because he gonna have some problems. It's not gonna be a cakewalk just because of that defense. Those 4 guys, just because of those 4 guys. Defensive line is a beast. So that's a huge bright spot. The biggest bright spot of Washington. And of course, they made the playoffs. So congrats to them. The Cowboys, bright spot, those wide receivers. Whew, I'm speechless. Those wide receivers are really, really good. You got Cooper, CD, and Gallup. That's like one of the best core of wide receivers. I like the Rams core, and there's a few other teams I like their core, but right there, that's to me one of the best, if not the best core. When you look at multiple wide receivers on a team, it's really amazing, and I would do all I can to not break that up. So that was the bright spot for them, and I'll kind of get into that a little bit more. Philly, Miles Sanders is a bright spot because he's a young, solid running back, and he deserves more touches. They're gonna have to correct that offensive line, but when he played and they gave him the ball, he was really good. He played well, but they got to fix that offensive line. And I would say Hurts came in and energized that team, because there was no life in that team, no energy at all. And he came in, and even though he didn't win all of those games, he gave them life, he gave them hope, he gave them energy, he made them look better. They played better. So I would say Hurts too. And now you just gotta sit back and determine, is he the guy or not. And you don't want to play around with that. You can't be yanking quarterbacks in and out of the damn starting lineup. Come on now, especially for a backup. And you said he presented the best opportunity to win. Peterson out here lying in these football streets. You know he lying. Come on now. We need to stop lying. He need to stop lying. I'm going to move on. Time's up. Like, move on to my Giants. All right, the Giants. Saquon returning is one of our bright spots because he's the franchise, and you need your franchise. You know, if you don't have your franchise player, your best player, you're not going to win that many games. I would say that the offensive line improved. There's still some work, but they improved. And then the defense overall improved and played really well. They exceeded my expectations. So build on that. Add a defensive lineman. We're gonna talk about that later. Okay, now problems. We're gonna go into the problems of these teams because they all have problems. As you can see that they call them the NFC East, and all teams are under 500, but yet still gotta allow one of them into the playoffs. So Washington, some issues that they need to address and you build on because you made the playoffs. I don't think, well, most teams are gonna say, yeah, we're gonna make the playoffs, we're gonna win the championship, because you're not gonna say we're gonna lose, oh, we're not gonna win. No. I think they exceeded their own expectations. You know, I think they felt like, oh, we're gonna come in, Rivera's gonna come in, change the culture, team's gonna, you know, move in this direction. They did play very well. And to me, they exceeded expectations and they're in the playoffs because of it. And that defense came together. So some problems though, wide receiver. You only have one wide receiver who I really like, and that's McLaurin. You need to add more weapons to that offense. Otherwise, I don't care who the starting quarterback is. You don't have enough offensive weapons. I mean, come on now. Get them some more wide receivers in there. DBs, like I said, that defensive line is crazy. It's bananas. You keep that together, Washington. All right. Chase Young is a beast. He's a beast, and I was really hoping that he was on my team, but now my quarterback's gonna be terrorized by him. But yeah. Anyways, they need some DBs. The back end needs some work. But when your front is that good, it helps the back end, and they're playing well enough to play in the playoffs and to have gotten to the playoffs. So they just need to build on that. And QB, like I said, short term, Alex Smith is all right, but is he the long-term solution? No, he is not. And if anyone says otherwise, then they're lying or they're just delusional. Okay, now let's go to the Giants. Some problems. Quarterback. Dave Jones, he's shown flashes. However, there's some issues that you can't ignore any longer as a GM or owner. You just can't, or even as a fan, because we see it. I talk to Giants fans all the time. We be frustrated as hell. Turn the damn ball over so much. So quarterback, that's to me a problem. The pass rush has been much better, but we still are lacking there. Wide receivers, I still feel like we don't have our number one. I like Shepard and I like Slayton. Slayton is the deep threat, and then Shepard should probably be the slot. We still need that number one, that old Dale Beckham type, because when he was there, he was the number one and he played like it. So we still are lacking there. And then DB. Okay, we need one because we got Bradbury. That was a great pickup this past offseason by Gettleman. So yeah, I'm giving Gettleman his props, even though he don't deserve them. No, he's done some things that I felt was questionable, but he has done some things that have been really good. And bringing Bradbury in was one of them. So kudos to Gettleman for that. I don't say kudos to him for much, but much props. All right, Philly. problems. The O-line, defense. I know they had a lot of injuries yesterday, but I still feel like that defense is there's some issues. And quarterback, you claimed last night that someone else presented a better option to win, and so it's like you're on your third quarterback. So are you saying the guy you paid over 100 million, you signed him to over 100 million contract, is not the guy? You're saying that the guy who you drafted in the second round, he's not presenting the best option to win, so you went with your third option. Hell, you didn't even have Wentz, the guy you signed to that long-term contract. You didn't even have him suited up as the backup. So to me, I'm going to say that's a problem, because I don't think they are 100% sold or 100% sure that they have their franchise quarterback. Maybe they need to just go back and try to repair that relationship with Wentz. I don't know. Are you going to give Hurts a chance? He deserves a shot to compete for that starting job. But however, you need to bring some weapons in there. Time's up. It's time's up. So now I want to do something quick. I want to run into the running backs on the team. Sanders, I love Miles Sanders. He's on Philly. I love him. Barkley, I love Barkley, of course. Come on now. New York kid, Giants running back. I'm a Giants fan. Yes, come on now. Y'all gotta know what it is. Antonio Gibson, I like him. He's solid. So I'm gonna say that's good. Now, Elliott. I was having a conversation a few days ago with someone, and we was talking about the offensive lines of the Cowboys and the Giants. So Barkley has been able to perform exceptionally well with that bad offensive line that has improved this season. And Elliott, he has played exceptionally well because of, we know what the Cowboys are known for, offensive line. So now this season, when you look at Elliott's performance, it's not that good with all the fumbles and just not performing well. And the big issue, the big key factor is the offensive line hasn't been good this season. Injuries and other things, just not good. So I am warm on Elliott. I don't want to say I don't like him, because I think he competes. But now I'm starting to question whether it's the offensive line or is it you? I need to see. They need to fix the offensive line, because I need to see more, because he didn't have a good season. I know we all have those seasons. It's just not that good. Everybody does it in something, and in football, you don't have a great season every year. You may have a down year. You made 2,000 yards this season and only 1,000 next season. Things happen, injuries happen. You just never know. Or is he burned out for them running the damn ball so much? I don't know, but I'm a little iffy on him. So I don't know. They need to figure that out. They just paid him a whole lot of damn money, and that ain't good. You paid him all that money. He's a running back. He's getting older. Didn't look great this season and at times last season. But then people say, well, he got over 1,000 yards last season. He almost got 1,000 this season. They didn't pay him to only just get 1,000 yards, or to just make it over 1,000, or to only need 1,000 yards, only need 20, 30 yards to get to 1,000 yards. That's not what they paid him for. And Jerry gotta sit back and think. There's a lot of things Jerry gotta do. All right, let's move on. Time's up for that. Let's talk about opportunities. So with Washington, opportunity is just build on this season. I think you know what you have in your defense. You know where you need to go to improve that defense. Your main focus should be adding to that to the offense. Bring some more weapons in. Add that extra tight end. Add another dynamic wide receiver, and just build on this season. Giants. build on this season because I think they exceeded a lot of Giants fans' expectations. I don't think a lot of us thought they would win 6 games if we were being realistic. I do not think most Giants fans felt like the defense would have played well. And like I said, they exceeded my expectations. So kudos to them. Some of that could just be, coaching and allowing your players to develop and setting them up to succeed and putting them in the right positions in the game. So kudos to the Giants defense. And they have the 11th pick. I wish it was higher because we do have a lot of issues that we have to address, but I'm confident that we'll make the right choice. I say we need to add another wide receiver, and we need to add an edge or somebody on defensive line to help with that pass rush. Okay, Philly, you have a high pick. You have the 6th pick. I would check with teams to see what's Carson Wentz's value. Like, he still has value to me. Don't wait until that value goes down and he doesn't have any more value. Right now, I still think he has value because I still believe he can start in the NFL, and move him. Move on, because it already cost you more money with that sign-in bonus than it's going to cost the other team. So at the end of the day, he's not going to stay there. It's not going to work out. So you got to just eat it. Eat that sign-in bonus and just got to move on. And I think Darius Slay, I love that. I love his game. I think you see what value he has. Dallas, you have the 10th pick. So that's good. You got a nice pick, but I'm tired of seeing you guys have a high draft pick because you have too much talent. I think you're not drafting correctly, even though you got CeeDee Lamb, so you have one of the most dynamic wide receiver groups in the league. You neglected other areas that would have helped your team this season. But like I said, I still love the wide receiver groups you have. I would snatch them immediately. If I could just snatch CeeDee Lamb off the Cowboys and put him on the Giants, I would. But retool that offensive line, because Dallas has always been known for having a really good offensive line, and they need to retool. But Dallas' priority is getting that defense up to par. They paid some players a lot of money to perform at a certain level, and they're not living up to those contracts. And that's why you got to watch out for a player playing great the season leading up into their contract extension or leading into their free agency. You get fooled all the time, and now you ain't got no money to pay players because you done invested a whole bunch in a player who probably shouldn't have received that much. But maybe that's the jury way. I don't know. Anyways, time's up for that. Let's go into some shout outs. So on Washington Wizards, I want to shout out Alex Smith for returning and leading his team to the playoffs. And I want to shout out that defense. I've been shouting them out throughout this entire episode. The defense is going to give all of the other quarterbacks in the NFC East hell for a long time to come. Shout out to the Giants. Shout out to Leonard Williams. He has 11.5 sacks on the season. Should he get that big contract he's looking for? If I'm the Giants, I'm going to be very careful on that. I know they say, well, some players, it takes some time to develop. I don't care. I wouldn't rush into that. I wouldn't rush into investing that kind of money because last offseason, I think he was wanting big money. Should you give him that big money? No, not on that level. So be careful with that contract. But anyways, this is supposed to be about giving him a shout out. So anyway, shout out to Leonard Williams for 11.5 sacks. James Bradbury has had a great season. He's helped the DBs, and he is a solid DB, and I'm looking forward to him being the starter next season for the Giants. Goldman had a solid season. I know at the beginning of the year, when Saquon got hurt, they were looking at other areas. They're looking at everyone else but him. And, he hung in there and he played well all season. Despite that crazy ass fumble at the end of the game, I was screaming. I don't know if that was kind of like a split butt fumble, but you got it back. Okay, so kudos to you grabbing that ball back. That was hilarious. But nonetheless, you did your thing. And pretty much you showed your ass out, so all of the doubters can stop doubting. He played well, and when Saquon comes back, they're probably not going to just give him the ball 25, 30 times a game, and so you have Goldman and to assist. All right, Philly. Shout out to Brandon Graham for making the Pro Bowl. He had 8 sacks, so that's a shout out to him. And in Dallas, those great wide receivers. Shout out to all 3 of them great wide receivers. Cooper had over 1,100 receiving yards, CD 935, and then Gallup had 843, which is amazing. Now, last segment on the NFC East, the coaching. All right, when the Giants hired Judge, I was like, who's Judge? Well, you know what? After watching him this season, I would say they made a really good decision. The players are playing for him. The players are happy to play. The players are developing. He's made some really good decisions during the game. So that was a great hire for the Giants. Washington, that was a great hire. I was at the time saying, I hope the Giants look at Rivera. He has done a solid job. Like I said, I believe they exceeded expectations. They play for him. I say they love playing for him, and he's done a solid job. His first season through a lot, issues at quarterback. He had his own personal life issues going on, and then just everything else that's going on in the world and life. And he did an excellent job with that team. So kudos to him. I want to save the Dallas coach for last, McCarthy. I'm going to save him for last. Okay. Philly coach. Okay. You won a Super Bowl a few years ago. That's cool. However, it just hasn't been that great the last 2 years, especially this season. Some questionable decisions. Last night, that was a questionable decision, but it was your decision. You made the decision. You own it. I didn't think that pulling Hurts gave you the best opportunity to win. And I felt like Carson Wentz should have been backing Hurts up in the event you felt that Hurts didn't give you the best opportunity to win. Wentz would have given you the best opportunity to win. Not, I can't remember the guy's name exactly. He didn't give you the best opportunity to win, because if he did, you probably would have put him in earlier this season. I'm not saying you were trying to tank or throw the game. I don't know, because I didn't even watch that part of the game. However, you've made some questionable calls and choices. Do you deserve to get fired? No. I think you won a Super Bowl and you have done well overall. But if he doesn't get it together for next season, you gotta move on. You gotta move on, because it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. And then now, who I like to save for last, the Cowboys. I said that this hire, wasn't a good one. I have said it since day one. It's not a good hire. McCarthy, he showed that he made some really bad decisions throughout the season, and those could have cost them a chance at the playoffs. Quiet as kept. Game early in the season where he decided to go for it. I think it was like 4th and 2 instead of kick that field goal, tie the game. So they ended up losing that game. So right there, that's one game up. Ooh, Cowboys probably in the playoffs. And then there was a few other games where it was just questionable decisions. I think there was one with a fake punt or something. He's made some questionable decisions. And then boom, the game yesterday against the Giants, he didn't try to challenge that catch, which wasn't a catch, and that could have potentially had you win the game, and then boop, maybe you're in the playoffs. And like I said, the Cowboys have they still have a solid offense, and probably would have been some really competitive for Tampa. Not to say it wouldn't be competitive. They wouldn't have a competition with Washington in there. But at the end of the day, he's made some questionable decisions, play calling, whether he's calling the plays or not. You're still the coach. You're making certain decisions, and they weren't the best decisions. It wasn't the best for the team. So, like I said, this wasn't going to be a good hire. Look at the last years in Green Bay. It was like he checked out. How do you have a head coach, the leader of men, the leader of the team, pretty much checking out? They ain't gonna work, because if your players since you checked out, they're probably just gonna tune you out and they're not really playing for you. Now, I felt like I don't know if the Cowboys weren't playing for him this season at times, but it just didn't look good, and it still doesn't look good. And so, Jerry, that wasn't a good hire, but I mean, hell, that's your team, and I'm okay with y'all hiring somebody that's going to keep y'all underneath the Giants. It is what it is. All right, y'all, that is all for this episode of Time's Up Fantasy Sports Talk. Let me know what y'all think about the NFC East, aka NFC East. Let me know which team y'all think has the best chance of getting over 500 and making the playoffs as a team with a winning record over the next 2 to 3 years. Let me know what y'all think. All right, y'all. Before we go, make sure y'all hit that subscribe button and follow me, because I'm gonna get y'all right for fantasy football for next season and fantasy basketball this year. Follow me on Facebook and IG at Dream Elite Strive for Excellence. That is excellence with the X. Y'all be good. Peace.